Ho, ho, holy moly, you're looking absolutely amazing on this terrific Tuesday, and I'm going to get straight into the meat and potatoes. As yesterday, we saw Candace Owens. She did a video that was basically who stood to benefit from Charlie Kirk's assassination. And off the back end of that, in the comments, there was a lot of people who was asking why Erika Kirk wouldn't question any of this. Lots of people said, you know, if I died and my best friend, I will say I don't know whether in 2025 Candace Owens was his best friend, but at some point they were truly good friends. I have to admit that. I don't know whether the statement that Candace Owens was his best friend in 2025, I don't know whether that's accurate, so I can't run with it, but I get the point. The point being that a friend, someone is seemingly showing more care and attention to why you was potentially, and I say potentially because I'm still not 100% convinced that any of this is at this stage real, and I'm going to talk about Tyler Robinson and Lance Twiggs later on today, because it just seems that when non-paid for media reports on things, the story's a little bit different than when you get paid for legacy media talk about things. You know, when they start getting paid to say certain things and push certain narratives, the story changes. But anyway, that's by and by. Point being, why wouldn't Erika Kirk have the very same questions that a lot of people have surrounding Charlie Kirk's death? Surely she can see what we see. You would think that just being human and knowing that Charlie Kirk had, I'm guessing, voiced his fears to the very person he was married to. If we can see text messages that show that he was concerned for his safety, you would think that that would have been a conversation that he would have had with her. Especially if we're going to go as far as saying that he was fearful that his pushback on his stance around Israel and the sadness he had for their treatment of him in his pushback. You would think that that was a conversation that he'd had with her. Would you not? Let me know down below if you think not, because my question would be, if not, then why not? Would he not have confided in these things with the very person he was married to, unless their marriage was not quite what it seemed to be, which in the aftermath of his death, we have indications that would potentially suggest that it wasn't. He didn't even sleep in the marital bed the night before he was apparently executed. But I think I can pretty much in this video show you why she may not be questioning things, because in answer to Candace Owens' video in who really was set to benefit from Charlie Kirk's death, it seems that one of the people who was set to benefit the absolute most was HUGGY WUGGY herself. She's got some coinage coming in. These coins. Let's have a look at it, because there's a lot of it. We're going to go, not this one, I want to go to this one here. Now, I pay for this, so you don't have to. I know it's the Daily Fail, but look, we're talking about money, and we're talking about how much money there is. Take everything with a pinch of salt, but this does potentially indicate, as I said, why Erika Kirk may be more silent than you would perhaps have hoped. I'm going to move my beautiful face up here. Probably not that far over. Let's put it there. That works, doesn't it? Also, we come over a little bit. Doing a little bit of sort myself out. Let's have a look. Right. Erika Kirk's secret millions inside Turning Point CEO's hidden gold mine. Hidden gold mine. And where sudden influx of cash came from. Now, not to mention, she's the CEO of Turning Point USA now. She's the big boss. Big Billy Big Balls. It says Charlie Kirk leaves behind a legacy of more than $20 million for his children, as well as a $100 million organisation set to change the American political landscape for years, which we can currently see in Texas, with their announcement that they are looking to have a Turning Point USA group, whatever it is, in every single fucking college campus in the whole of Texas. Booyah! Hell yeah! That's what they're doing. And let me know how you feel about that. Daddy loves you so much. Don't you worry. He's on a work trip with Jesus, so he can afford your blueberry budget. What the fucking hell sort of statement's that? Your blueberry budget. How old's this kid? How old's this kid? This kid's probably looking at it and thinking, what the fucking hell does that even mean? And don't hug me. No hugs. I've had enough hugs for one day. Blueberry budget. His widow, Erika, revealed she had told their 3-year-old daughter in a teary public statement shortly after his assassination in September. Records reviewed by the Daily Mail reveal the girl and her 18-month-old brother will not have to worry about money for the rest of their lives, as the late Turning Point founder had a life insurance policy that likely paid out at least $10 million. Now, we've heard reports of this life insurance policy that pays between 10 and upwards of 30, so we're not 100% sure, but there's going to be a bit there, and there's going to be a bit, we know that. Erika personally received a further $10 million in donations from thousands of well-wishers after his death. $10 million! That's a fucking GoFundMe, innit? That is one hell of a donation kitty. But it's fucking hell. $10 million. Whew. That's some coinage there. I love donations. Kirk's assassination in Utah Valley University on September 10 thrust the mother of his 2 children into the driving seat of his Turning Point non-profit and related organizations, which had combined estimated revenues of more than $100 million last year. And I'll tell you what, that'll be higher than that. The money that's gone through that business will far surpass what you know and can see in the public eye, the public domain. I would bet my bollocks to a barn dance on that. And the 37-year-old former booty queen has vowed to take on the challenge. For the rest of my life, I will make sure that I don't stay silent, unless it's questions around my husband's death, which I will be more silent than a silent thing. What's the most silent thing you can think of? Because she is far surpassing that. Erika said in a speech on the Fox Nation Patriot Awards last month, thanks to the couple's planning, Erika can take up the role knowing her children are already well provided for. Oh, that's all right then. Well, if they're already provided for because of the planning for what? When I die, you're going to take over my role. We'll pay Gretchen and Mary to look after the children. There's going to be a life insurance policy. That'll have them sorted. You've just got to come in occasionally and just give them a hug. Remind them who you are. Who are you? I'm Mummy. Mummy. Do you know what I mean? It's, what the fuck? It's like thanks to the couple's planning. So Charlie Kirk then would go around everywhere and spout off that he thinks that women should be home with the children and be home builders and shouldn't go off and seek positions to be CEO and powerful business women because that's not what he believed in. But behind closed doors, he was planning that his wife would ditch the kids with somebody else because they're already sorted. Don't worry about that. They're done. They're already. And she continues in the very fucking role that would get him killed. Yeah, that makes sense. Makes sense. Anyway, moving swiftly on. There's some pictures from the back. He wrote 16 books and had the royalties for those. Unless you look through Turning Point USA's paperwork, and that would seemingly suggest that they actually paid the publisher rather than the publisher paying them. But again, you'll have to let me know down below in the comments why that would potentially be. He had a radio show every day, a podcast, and he made money on all of that stuff. Sadly, figures would suggest that the online stuff isn't doing quite so well as of late. So his family is extremely well secured. You don't really have to go and work, but there you go. Turning Point board member Mike Miller, 77, told the Daily Mail, he took better care of his family than anyone else I know, and I know many billionaires, added Miller, who said Kirk was like a son to him. It was all about her, the kids, and God. Property records show the Kirks already had sizable cash sums on hand after selling their Scottsdale, Arizona home, questionably, in January this year for $5.25 million, an increase of $500,000 from the 2023 purchase price. The couple took out a $3.5 million mortgage on the home in 2023, leaving them with roughly $2 million cash after the sale. Scottsdale and Phoenix property records do not show a purchase of a new home for the family, again, questionably, suggesting they held on to the cash. Erika was reported to be living in a rented Scottsdale, Arizona condominium in September. Erika's mother, Lori Francie, owns a 3,200 square foot home in Scottsdale via a trust, which may have also become a much-needed sanctuary for the grieving widow and 2 young children, allowing Erika to use the millions for her 2 children. Francie raised Erika as a single mother in Scottsdale and grew up very close to her son-in-law, Charlie. There's the house that they sold. Funny what going to college campuses and making people angry can do for your bank balance. I love the way my husband loves you. It's such a special bond, Erika wrote in a 2022 Instagram post on her mother's birthday. Since Charlie's death, donors have given almost $10 million directly to the grieving widow. Several funds launched on charitable giving websites Give, Send, Go, and GoFundMe raised a total of $9.765 and change for Kirk's widow, Erika. The largest fund, launched by Tucker Carlson's nicotine pouch brand ALP, raised $5.485 and some change for the mother of 2. ALP donated $1 million of that figure. Another fund, run by a group called Friends of the Kirk Family, raised $2.5 million. Liberty Memes Foundation raised just over $1 million, and Glenn Beck's 9 to 12 project raised just under $1 million. The funds say the cash will go directly to Erika. In an interview with the New York Times published September 21st, Erika said Charlie paid close attention to Bible verses about cherishing and bonding and protecting one's spouse. She told the Times that every Saturday he left her a note asking, "How can I best serve you?" or a similar phrase. It's quite nice. It's quite nice. I think that's it. No. It says, and there are indications that the couple had also laid careful plans for his estate and inheritance to protect their children. June 2024, the Kirks set up an LLC for each of their children. Erika has held fast to her faith following her husband's murder, saying in multiple interviews she believed the killing was part of God's plan, and publicly forgiving charged shooter Tyler Robinson. The bereaved mother now wears a pendant of St. Michael that Charlie had around his neck when he was shot, with a blood stain still present in the crevice of its cross. What the fuck? The couple had been together for 7 years. Erika was living in New York and working as a realtor when they met in 2018 at a Turning Point event. She told the New York Times that she showed up to their first meet-up at a Manhattan burger restaurant thinking it would be a job interview, only for Charlie to declare his romantic intentions before he engulfed me into his world. The former Miss Arizona had her own company at the time, Proclaim Sweet Streetwear, which sold clothing inspired by Bible verses. All items currently listed on its website say they're sold out. Residency records listed Erika as tenant of the Madison Avenue, New York one-bed apartment from 2023, though the apartment was put back on the rental market in February this year at $5,195 per month. So there's a lot of stuff happening at the beginning of the year. Getting rid of properties, life insurance policies. Besides the family home they sold, Kirk also owns a condo in Scottsdale, purchased for $1.299 million in December 2020, as well as a 2-bed, 2-bath condo in Longboat Key, Florida, worth an estimated $1.3 million. According to the most recent filings for Turning Point USA, Kirk was paid a combined salary of $390,493 by the organisation for the 12 months to June 2024. As a new CEO, Erika is likely to receive a similar salary to what her late husband would have been paid, and to inherit his for-profit enterprises. There you go. She is buzzing, isn't she? Woo! Miller told Daily Mail that he and his fellow board members had to convince Charlie to take more money in salary as CEO when he wanted to save it for the organisation. He made a good salary at Turning Point, but the board had to fight with him to get him to take more money. He was always very humble. He was always very humble. £5 million house here, 1 million condo here, 1 million condo there. She's got more fucking jewellery than Mr. T, unless he just bought that after he died. Went out on a fucking spend and splurge. Let's get me fingers dripping in gold. In gold. Yeah, bollocks. Anyway, look, I love Charlie Kirk, but like I said, I didn't agree with absolutely every fucking thing that he said, you know what I mean? I didn't. I watched the guy for a long, long period of time, but there were certain things I didn't agree with. That statement there, he was very humble. The board had to push him into taking more money. You must take more money, Charlie. You must. Not buying that, not for a second. Not buying that for a second, mate. Sorry, but I can't. But in answer to the question, Candace Owens put, who stood to benefit from Charlie Kirk's assassination? I would argue that someone who was set to benefit from Charlie Kirk's assassination was none other than the very wife that he would likely be running away from while she tried to hug the fuck out of him. But there you go. Let me know down below what you think. Is that the incentive to perhaps keep quiet after saying that you know everything? You might know everything, but you're not saying everything, and you certainly ain't questioning anything. And maybe this is why. Would you keep quiet for $10 million and some change? Let me know down below. Love you all. Mwah.